The Beat Diggers will kick it off to begin the third quarter. They lead Strasburg 14-7. Cody Smith and Jordan Ross are back to receive. Brush had a 14-0 lead in this game until Glenn Wallace connected with Jordan Ross on a 38-yard pass in the second quarter. Jesus Cardenas. It's that football into the ground. It's picked up at around the 28-yard line, running straight ahead and getting pounded at the 36 by Joe Rosenbrock. Looks like Lindale Gentry. Pretty good field position, though, for the Indians.
He did a good job fielding the ball. There's a flag on the play down there, it looks like. A lot of Diggers were in there just pounding on him, throwing shoulders in there. It was definitely a gang tackle.
Or have they picked up the flag? Yeah, because I don't see it out there right now, and it doesn't appear to be a penalty. 1st and 10 for Strasburg at the 36-yard line. Yeah, that's just a long yellow towel to keep the ball dry. The quarterback is Glenn Wallace. He's in a shotgun. Receiver out to each side. In motion to the right is Cody Smith. A high snap out to the right. Rolling right is Wallace. Throws on the run. That pass is incomplete. Through the hands of Cody Smith at the 47-yard line. The throw was a little bit high, and the Beat Diggers defended that very well.
Yeah, they sure did. You know, you could see that it was coming over here to the right side as Strasburg was setting up all their blocking so that they could roll him out over here. Just again, it's a surprise that they're not letting him run the football, but that's a good thing for us.
Without a doubt, because as you mentioned, that has been Brush's Achilles heel. 2nd down and 10 for the Indians at their own 36. Again in a shotgun. And that is Jordan Ross back there in a shotgun. And he's going to hand it off on the left side, and they're going to have nothing. It's going to be a huge loss inside the 30. Kyle Hefner made the tackle on Dylan Jacoby, the 6'1", 200-pound junior running back. He lost a ton of yardage. That was strictly a lateral run back to the 28-yard line, a loss of 8, 3rd and 18.
Like he said, he just kept running backwards. He was at an angle, just running backwards further and further and further. Diggers grabbed hold of him and shoved him back a little further.
This will be huge for the Beat Diggers defensively after the loss of 8. 3rd and 18 for the 28. Trips to the right. Glenn Wallace is now in the quarterback position. Jordan Ross is right next to him, crouching to his left. Awaiting the snap, a long count. Wallace has it, throws deep over the middle. That pass is incomplete. Slipping at the 47 was Nick Graham. He was open momentarily, and who knows, that could have been a completed pass had Graham not slipped, even though the couple of Beat Diggers were near the football.
That and the fact the ball was thrown behind him by a pretty good long shot. He was trying to step on the brakes when he slipped to try to make that reception.
Well, that was big for Brush. And now Schlegel to punt. Standing at his own 15. Rosenbrock is trying to cheat towards the sideline. Snap off to the right. Pretty good rush. And this punt towards the middle of the field. It'll bounce at the 49 and take a Strasburg roll to the Brush 46-yard line. The Beat Diggers have good field position. A punt of 26 yards. Now they've got to do on this drive what they did on the opening drive of the game and just shove it down Strasburg's throats.
Yeah, they have to get that Strasburg defense on their roller skates again, and the best way to do it is if they just come out and get after them in a hurry and not give them a chance to breathe.
Well, Dave, let's see how much time they take in between plays. You remember on that first drive, run play, back to the line of scrimmage. I mean, they did it quickly, and all of a sudden that rhythm changed quite a bit. 3 in the backfield for Brush. 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Garcia to hand it off to Weiser, running left. He runs into a blocker, then back towards the middle, and then he still drives to around the 49-yard line. It took him a while to get to the 49 because there was nothing there, but Weiser was able to get about 3 yards on that play.
You know, it's hard for the Diggers to block that defense when they have their defensive tackle. It'd be their right defensive tackle. We're running left. He's the only one that's down in a three-point stance, and the rest of their defensive linemen are all standing up about a yard away from the ball, so it's kind of confusing for the offensive line to figure out what their blocking assignments are.
14-7 Brush with 10:10 to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 7 from their own 49-yard line. Garcia on the option left will pitch it towards Rosenbrock, but it's batted away and it's picked up by an Indian and down at the Beat Digger 39-yard line. That play was broken up and the fumble recovered by Julian Lopez, and the Indians are in business And for the 8th consecutive game, the Bee Diggers have committed at least one turnover.
Yep, he tried to pitch the ball out there, but Rosenbrock was keeping his relationship that you have to have when you run an option. So he was taking off out this way. Garcia got held up right there, tried to make the pitch, and there was just no way Rosenbrock could get back to cover the ball.
Yeah, I think the ball might have been partially deflected on that pitch. 1st and 10 for Strasburg at the Bee Digger 39-yard line. They're looking to tie this game, down 14-7. 9:59 to go in the third. Wallace is under center. Jordan Ross is the lone setback. In motion to the right is Cody Smith. The handoff to Ross right up the middle, and he's got a yard and nothing else. The middle of that Bee Digger defensive line was there to make the play, led by Kyle Hefner. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Indians.
They faked that fly handoff, and then they faked kind of a crossbuck, and then they went with the kind of the draw up the middle, and neither one of those fakes fooled the Diggers as everybody stayed home.
2nd down and 9 for Strasburg at the Bee Digger 39-yard line. Essentially, it's kind of where they started the drive, but they got about half a yard on the last play. In motion to the right is Smith again. There's a fake. Now Wallace rolling to his left, heaves it up the left sideline. That pass is going to be tipped, and incomplete pass interference on the Bee Diggers. It's incomplete. It was thrown by the back official along the far sideline at the 12-yard line. That'll result in a 15-yard penalty and a Strasburg first down. They haven't made the call yet, but I don't see what else it could be.
Yeah, they're going to throw it on him because our defender didn't really look back for the ball. But there was two guys, the sideline judge and also the back judge were both guys that threw the flag.
Bee Digger fans don't like that call whatsoever. But that's exactly what it's going to be. At 1305 Edison Street in Brush, your local Napa Auto Parts store is CNC Auto Parts. Your one-stop shop for all of your banking and investment needs, from checking to savings to IRAs, is Morgan Federal Bank, 321 Ensign Street. Morgan Federal Bank, there's a difference. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. 1st and 10 for the Indians at the Bee Digger 24-yard line. We've had a couple of plays already that have changed momentum, all in Strasburg's favor. Under center is Wallace. 1st down, the pitch right to Ross. It's across the 25, breaks a tackle, and he's held up at the 20, and he's down right there. Gain of 4. Kyle Hefner threw him back, along with a couple of other Bee Diggers, but it'll be 2nd down and around 6.
And they go with those two slots that are over on this side. It's kind of stretching our defense out a little bit and making a little bit more running room for Ross, but still only has 35 yards on 11 carries.
With a football at the 20-yard line, 2nd and a short 6. Eric Garcia is now out of the game. He might have jammed a finger or something. He's getting medical attention. One receiver out to the left. 3 on the near right. Wallace, 3-step drop, and he's hit as he throws. The ball is loose. It's picked up by Rosenbrock. He picks it up, and he's across the 25-yard line to the 28. He was nailed by Kyle Hefner, and the Bee Diggers have the football. There's a flag down at the point of the tackle, but that should be Brush football.
Yeah, that ball fluttered up in the air. It was kind of spinning sideways and just floating down. Rosenbrock caught the ball, and then he was trying to run forward so fast that he kind of tripped himself up.
And that call, I think, is going to go against Strasburg, because their defense is backing up, and the Bee Diggers would have great field position across their own 40-yard line. I would think that it's probably a late hit or a face mask. And it is a personal foul. 1st and 10 for the Bee Diggers at their own 43-yard line following the Joe Rosenbrock interception. But that was Kyle Hefner. I believe it was Kyle Hefner who was able to nail Wallace as he was throwing, and the Bee Diggers are in business.
Yeah, they are. And Strasburg's back up there again with 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage and 3 linebackers.
With Garcia hurt, Mitch Tormolen is the quarterback on this series. 1st and 10 for the 43. Tormolen will hand it off right up the gut to Weiser. He spins, and he might have gotten a yard, if even that. The Strasburg defense right there to make the play, led by David Humiston.
They blitzed at least 2 guys on that play, and, that's one of the things that got the Diggers last time when they fumbled that option, where they had one guy, like I said before, down on the line of scrimmage. All the other defensive linemen are standing up, but all of a sudden they all blitz straight ahead, and they screw up all the blocking assignments.
Garcia's back into the game. 2nd and 9 for the Bee Diggers. just shy of their own 44-yard line, leading 14-7. Approaching the midway part of the second, handoff right side, or that's third quarter, I should say. And that's Tanner Morrow, and he runs hard to around the 49. Humiston made the tackle again. This time it's a gain of 5, 3rd and 4 for Brush.
Boy, this is a big down here. It'll be interesting to see what the coaching staff goes with, as Strasburg still has everybody in the box. Everybody's up there within about 4 or 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, except for maybe a corner or two.
If the B-Diggers can just hit the perimeter, it could be a huge play. 3rd and 4, the B-Diggers with a football at their own 49-yard line, leading by a touchdown. Garcia to hand it off to the deep man. Weiser cuts it back towards the middle. He's got a yard. That's it. At the 50, he's down. A gain of only 1, and it was Cody Smith who made the tackle. 4th down and 3.
Yet the Diggers just trying to run right at him, and Strasburg doing a good job as they're sending guys, to certain gaps and being real aggressive.
This is a huge gamble. The B-Diggers are going to go for it on 4th and a short 3. Let's see what they run. Biggest play of the game so far. And it looked like Strasburg jumped, and that's what Garcia did. The hard count. I'm not sure the B-Diggers were actually going to snap that football. They might have taken a 5-yard penalty, but Strasburg jumped on the hard count, and it's 1st down for the B-Diggers, and that is huge. One of the biggest plays is a play that wasn't even run.
Exactly. Just a lot of good discipline there by that offensive line, and sometimes even the running backs will flinch once in a while, but nobody moved. Just a good heads-up, savvy play there by the Diggers.
1st and 10. At the 45 of Strasburg. So the drive continues for Brush. Garcia to hand it off left side to Weiser. He's across the 40-yard line, and he dives to the 35. It's a gain of 9. He was tripped up by Jordan Ross, but hard running by Connor Weiser, who had a hole to operate with.
You bet. Another big haul again running over this left side behind Acosta and Seawald.
Well, now they back the football up to the 36, 2nd and 2. It's a gain of 8 officially. Brush looking to reclaim a 2-touchdown lead. Weiser and Rosenbrock are in the backfield. 5:53 to go, 3rd quarter. Brush leads Strasburg 14-7. Kukas the receiver to the right. And there's the give left side, 1st down. And that is Connor Weiser right off left tackle as he dives inside the 35 to the 33. He needed 2. He got 3.
That time they put Kukas out there to the right, and the corner actually had his back semi-turned towards Garcia. And it was going to leave everything wide open for Kukas just to run a fade towards the sideline.
Corey Coombs was in on the play, the 5'9", 170-pound junior linebacker. 1st and 10 for the B-Diggers at the Strasburg 33-yard line. 3 in the backfield. Rosenbrock, Weiser, and Morrow. The give is to Weiser running right. Boy, it took about 3 to 4 Indians to bring him down for no gain. Led over there by Cole Ford. 5'11", 230-pound senior. In fact, a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Yep, I'll tell you what. We've said it so many times. Strasburg's up there trying to stop that run. Sometimes they're real successful. If the Diggers can break through that with one of their trap plays, there's not going to be anybody there to stop him because they don't have a free safety back there.
2nd down and 11 from the 34-yard line. Weiser checked out momentarily. Now he's back in. Trips to the right. We haven't seen this formation in a while. On 2nd and 11, Garcia's going to roll that way, looking to throw. He's going to throw it out to the left. Weiser's wide open, but he's tackled at the 35 by David Humiston. One man was out there for Strasburg on that pass out to the left. Another loss of 1. 3rd down and 12. Great individual play by David Humiston.
Yep, and Weiser kind of tripped himself up. He was frustrated as he kind of spiked the ball as he stood up there. You could tell he was bummed out that he tripped over his own feet, but he didn't really give himself a chance to develop any momentum to break a tackle.